This is Times Drive and I'm Juhi Pandey. And today we're coming to you from High Street, Phoenix. By day, it's the sort of place where you can come and shop, lose your children, or just have a good time. And by night, it's even more fun as the drive team finds out.
But by night, that makes Phoenix even more fun. Because that means that the 5-story car park is completely empty and ours to play in. So what were we going to play with in our private parking lot?
Now first up, it's this, the Fiat Grande Punto. Now this is Fiat's attempt to grab the hatchback market by the testes. Because it's Italian, it's automatically pretty and it's not as expensive as it looks.
And then there is this, the Skoda Fabia, the first really premium hatch to hit India. And I'll grant it to you, it's not as good looking as the Punto, but it is a decent looking car. And it's been doing pretty well for itself so far till now, until Monica Bellucci over here showed up.
And this is the all-new Hyundai i20 diesel, or well, the spot where it should have been. But then Hyundai told us we couldn't have one. But don't worry, because what I've got here is a press release for the car. So while those two guys are off driving their fancy cars, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the car from this press release. And the first thing you realize is that it's not as pretty as the Punto or as the Fabia. And the paper smells kind of funny.
And so while Rohan stood around with his smelly piece of paper, we set off to play with our cars.
And so my Punto, which is not made of paper, comes with a 1.3-litre multi-jet diesel engine that does about 75 horsepower and 190 Newton meters of torque. Now what I like about it is how responsive this engine is at the lower end of the rev range. What's annoying is that it loses steam as you go higher up the rev band. Now that's a bit like being really good at foreplay, but being rubbish at everything else.
My Skoda Fabia, on the other hand, had a 1.4-litre diesel engine, and even so, actually has less power than the Punto. Now it does only 70 brake horsepower and more disappointingly, only 155 Newton meters of torque. Now you don't feel the lack of power ordinarily, but you put it up against the Punto and it's not actually brilliant. Let me put it this way, I'm a great runner for myself. I'm proud of my lap times, but if you were to put me against Usain Bolt or even PT Usha, I'd look and I'd feel really stupid.
But nobody was feeling stupider than me, reviewing my stupid i20 press release. Right, so according to this press release, the i20 does about 90 horsepower and 220 Newton. Listen, this is rubbish, this is boring, it's stupid. Nobody wants to watch a guy reading off a paper. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm out. I'm done.
Has Rohan gone home?
As we were about to find out, no, he hadn't.
What the f***?
I figured if I couldn't get the i20 diesel, why not throw those two pretenders up against the real king of the diesel ring, the Swift. It's got the exact same 1.3-litre engine that the Grande Punto does. Does about 75 horsepower and 195 Newton meters of torque. That's about 7 more than the Grande Punto and about 50 more than the Fabia. So boys and girls, show me what you got.
So now that we had 3 cars ready to have a go at each other, we decided to have a little race. So we designed a course through the parking lot straight with curves, bends, everything just to see which of these cars drives better. Whoever does it the quickest and with the least drama wins.
And I decided to go first.
Now because of its good low end whack, the Punto's quick off the start line, which is good for start-stop traffic situations, especially when you want to dart in and out of gaps. Now there's just a hint of body roll around the corners, but this is the shortest car of the lot. And since it's a Fiat, it handles really well and holds it together really nicely. Now I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this is the best handling car that you could buy in this category. Now what I really love is that out of all 3 cars, this one is definitely the most fun to be in. It's got Bluetooth, it's got climate control, it's got integrated stereo, it's got USB drives. Now the only problem with this car is that the interiors are darker than Satan's heart. It's just black everywhere. I wish they'd actually lighten it up a little bit. Maybe a butterfly decal or two. Now I need to use the gearbox a little more than I like because this car runs out of juice as you hit the top end, but God, this is so much fun.
my turn.
The lack of power and torque in comparison to the other two cars is disappointing, as is the lag of the start line. But it's amazing how nice the Fabia feels. I mean, the ride is comfy and the bumps just get soaked up. Now, there's more body roll here than the other two cars. One of the reasons for that is that the Fabia is a pretty tall car and it's got a narrow track than the other two. So I won't really recommend any performance runs in this thing. But there are parking sensors, there are electronically adjustable mirrors. There is so much here that it really isn't a performance thing. It all comes together on the straights though, with the power flowing nicely. This car reminds you that now, deep down, it's a Volkswagen.
And then it was the Swift's turn to do its thing. Now I've got more torque than the Punto and the Fabia, so basically I darted off the line a lot quicker than they would. So essentially, if all three cars saw the same gap in traffic at the same time, I'd get there first. Ha! Now the Swift's a pretty tall car, but it's also got a reasonably wide track, so it's really comfy, composed around corners. You have so much grip that you could have a really good time with this car, or a really big accident. Now, the only place the Swift really shows its age is the interiors. It's dark, it's depressing, it's not a nice place to be in. It's a bit like being in a cave, well, really fast cave with a steering wheel.
So according to our little race, the Fiat Grande Punto crossed the finishing line first. But there were other things to consider, like the price. So which car would finally come on top? The Punto, the Swift, or the Fabia? So Ron, what's your take on the Swift?
Well, you can get one of these in Mumbai on road with ABS for just 5.96 lakh rupees.
So is that a good deal?
It absolutely is. I mean, think about what you can get. You get Maruti's fantastic service network, first of all. The only thing that breaks the deal for me is the fact that the car is now starting to show its age. The interiors look a bit dull, and what really annoyed me was that even if I ask for it, I cannot get airbags on this car. Maruti will not give them to you.
What about you, Kabir? What do you think of the Fabia?
Well, this is the most comfortable, spacious and loaded hatch in this country, and I know it's pricey, but
How much does it cost?
it's 8.69 lakhs.
8.69 lakhs in Mumbai.
Yeah.
8.69 lakhs ex-showroom. Now that's 2.5 lakhs more than the Swift and 1.5 lakhs more than the Punto. Now the Punto is yours for an ex-showroom price of over 7.04 lakhs. And with this car, you're getting a great interior, superb style. The only thing that really lets this car down is it's underpowered.
Okay, bottom line, what is your verdict?
Now the way I see it, it's Punto first, Swift second and Fabia third. With that price alone, the Fabia is making life very, very difficult for itself.
You know what, I'd like to say Swift first, but the car's really starting to show its age. So I'd have to say Punto, Swift, and the Fabia's price is just ridiculous. So the Fabia goes third, definitely.
I definitely have to agree. Let's see what Kabir. I think he's left. I think he's sulking.